Oh my God, I'm serious. Woo! Yo, my goodness. My legs are feeling a little bit like jelly. They can't move. I know what Muller feels like now with his horse legs. I have horse legs too. No muscles in there whatsoever. Well, hello everyone. Welcome to BayernNow, the ultimate Bayern Munich fan channel. Thomas Muller, Mourinho. But first of all, sponsored for today, Luca Nicolai. We didn't do one yesterday. Okay, thank you so much, Luca, for being a BayernNow member. If you want to be a BayernNow member and help support the channel, it's very much appreciated. It keeps the channel going so we can constantly improve. And there's a lot of cool benefits where you can have emojis to use and all these other things. And I'm working on more things, okay? We're working on some sick things coming out. So if you want to join that, it would be very much appreciated. And you get a nice little sponsor video message. And leave a like. And I'm disappointed in you guys. I know I keep promoting, okay? I'm disappointed. I really am, okay? Because first of all, what's up, okay? Look, it's September now. I said 4,000 subscribers by the... Now we got to get to 10,000 subscribers by the end of this month for me to be satisfied. How could you do this to me? I was sitting here last night crying because of you guys. You disappointed me. I had so much faith and trust. Let's talk about Muller, though. Thomas Muller, is he irreplaceable at Bayern? Is he replaceable? Well, first of all, you have to think about just whenever we say, oh, this player, how are we ever going to replace him? We just replace them anyways. I think that's something that I keep noticing, especially in this fan base. We always say, oh, Sepp Maier, how will we ever replace you? It's in German, right? Because I wasn't a Bayern fan when Sepp Maier was playing. You know, I would have been... My parents weren't even born when he was playing. My mother wasn't even born when he was playing. But I'm sure people at the time were like, Sepp, how are we ever going to replace you? You know, in a couple of generations after, you had some very good goalkeepers. I'm talking about GOAT keepers right now. You know, some of the greatest in their position. And then you get Oliver Kahn. And then he's so good. And then everyone's like, how are we ever going to replace you, Oliver? And then we have some, good goalkeepers in there. And then we get the GOAT. The greatest of all time, Manuel Neuer, right? We've already had two of the greatest of all time who that changed the game and how they played. And now you have another one that's very, very great, the greatest of all time, changes the game. And now we're thinking, how are we ever going to replace Neuer? I guarantee you, years down the line, what if it's Nuba? What if it's someone else? We're going to get another goalkeeper that adds something so different. And we're going to be like, I always thought we'd never replace Neuer. We finally did. And this is just a cycle we go in. Thomas Muller looks so irreplaceable. First of all, because at the moment he is. You can't buy another player that actually replicates Muller's stats, his movement and everything. I don't think you really replace Muller. I don't think that's something that I'm focused on. Someone made a great comment on it. Pretty much said, you don't need to buy a like-for-like player. And that's a very smart thing to say. If you have one player leaving, like a Thiago, for example, we all want a player that's exactly like Thiago or really close to him in terms of dribbling and all these things and the first touch, because Thiago is amazing to watch, right? He's beautiful to watch. Not saying he's beautiful in the face and looking at him is, no, I'm just saying he's a great guy, okay? Not that I'm moving that, but you know what I mean. A beautiful Samba Brazilian player to watch. Amazing. And then you think about who's going to replace him. And then you're always like, we'll never replace Thiago. But I guarantee you, next season, we'll be like, I love Thiago. I wish we had him. But we have something that could be better than that. And that's the situation at Bayern right now. And for me, we have to get off this mentality that Thomas Muller needs to be replaced. Or we need to start thinking about a replacement. Because you don't think about replacing Muller. Bayern Munich is a club. Thomas Muller is a player. As much as he's from Upper Bavaria, okay, actually Super Bayern, Upper Super Bayern, yeah, same thing. But as much as he's from that area and he knows the club and the club is him and he's not bigger than the club, right? Lewandowski's not bigger than the club. No player in that squad is bigger than Bayern Munich. We've had Franz Beckenbauer at this club. We've had Oliver Kahn, the greatest footballers in their positions. Kahn's one of the greatest center backs of all time. He created a new position, a new way of playing center back. Look at the modern center back now, like Alaba, for example. That's Franz Beckenbauer just in a new era. right? We're moving towards a different game because of some of the greats at Bayern Munich. We've had Bastian Schweinsteiger. And we get stuck up in this thing where we think, oh, this player, how are we ever going to replace you? You don't replace Muller by buying a player that's like Muller. You replace Muller at the time when that comes about by buying a player that can be just as effective as him. That can be just as effective as him. He doesn't have to play like Muller, but has to be as effective. And that's what you do. You don't buy a billion players to try and replace one player. You buy players that could look like they could be as effective. And that's something that people are not understanding, right? When it comes to replacing players, I myself, I think about it sometimes and I'm like, I want to like for like. I want him to play exactly like that. That would be amazing. But that's not realistic. That's not the sport. This sport is beautiful because we get to see different types of styles of play. Neymar plays almost like an attacking midfielder, central forward sort of role. He doesn't really play like a winger, natural, traditional winger. It's usually Mbappe and Di Maria on either side. But Neymar plays in that hole. So does Thomas Muller. Are Muller and Neymar the same type of player? But no, they're not. But are they just as effective, as each other? That's true. And that's something that's wonderful in the sport. Lewandowski scores all the goals he does. And well, there is no striker that's close to Lewandowski, is there? But you just understand what I'm trying to say. Kevin De Bruyne gets similar numbers to Thomas Muller, goal contributions, etc. And is De Bruyne better than Muller just because De Bruyne can do an outside boot pass? No, that's not how football works. Football is about effectiveness. The whole objective of this sport is to score goals, and Muller so happens to play a huge role in the goals that are scored with Bayern and getting 21 assists, breaking records. And that's something that's beautiful. It's beautiful to watch Muller play. I know it sounds weird because he's not a dribbler, but it's beautiful to watch a player that knows what's going on. Muller always makes decisions that I'm thinking he should make. And that's something that's beautiful because I'm watching on the screen. I think about the game like, players get tired, but for me, they should keep running. I'd be the worst coach. I'd be the best coach, actually, because I'd get the best out of my players. I wouldn't be a Nico Kovac and say we don't have good enough players. That's really demeaning as a human being for your manager to say that. Speaking of the little, stops and drops in form with Muller, that was really because of the managers. Ancelotti couldn't get Muller to play. Kovac couldn't. Guess who did? Hansi Flick, Pep Guardiola, and Jupp Heynckes, because they had a certain system. Heynckes because, Louis van Gaal, obviously. Louis, the youth promoter, the greatest coach when it comes to promoting young players and doing it. I mean, apparently Louis van Gaal wanted one young player every, position. That's crazy, isn't it? That's crazy. He also wanted to have 3 young players starting in the team. Alaba and that. It's crazy how Louis van Gaal thought of this stuff. And it's beautiful. That's what I like to hear. I think with Flick now, Thomas Muller is so good because he has a coach that understands his position. Because look, the way we play in between the lines, it's all about Thomas Muller. His movement drags defenders, which allows space for our wingers to tuck into. And then he'll just make a run when no one expects it. He'll drop deep. But then he's not the one getting the ball. It's the winger behind him. It's Lewandowski. I think the reason Lewandowski loves working with Muller so much is because Muller sacrifices his ball ability, right? Muller can be on the ball. He can play. You can see him do the little chops. He can do the basics right? So he doesn't take that time on the ball, though. He would rather run and create space for Lewandowski, which is why Lewandowski loves being on the ball. And he will pass to Muller and run in because he knows Muller's not going to shoot a magical shot, even though he can. This guy's just like he's bang average at every. He's world class. He's not a world class finisher. He's never been a great header. It's kind of weird how Muller, he's not fast. He's not a dribbler. He doesn't have these cute tricks about him. Actually, he does. He has this Brazilian chop. That's why I call him Thomas Mourinho, 100% Brazilian and 100% German. The only person in history to do that. But he does have this chop in him. He always does it in his left foot. And it's so amazing. It's just the ability to pick the right moments to do the right things. And that's the part I want to replace. I don't want to replace Muller, like get his son. Does Muller have kids? I don't know. We might as well just stop here because we're not replacing this guy. I don't want to just get a guy named Thomas Muller, to replace Thomas Muller, but I want to replace some of his traits. I do want players, a player like him that sacrifices their ability, because the reason why our press works so well is Muller's the one organizing our attack. He's telling Coman where to be because it's his intelligence. Messi has this level of intelligence. People don't realize. Messi spends about the first 10, 20 minutes of a game walking around, and people are like, why is this guy so lazy? He's actually just figuring out what types of runs to make, where to be in different scenarios. He figures all these things out, and then all of a sudden you're 4-0 down and Messi has a double brace. That's something that people don't notice. And Thomas Muller does this while he's running, though. That's the situation. He does it while he's just looking around. His awareness is crazy. Lewandowski said Muller always knows where he is before he knows where he's going. And that's just weird because it's like he understands all his teammates to the, A to Z. It's absolutely amazing. But look, how do you replace Muller? Let me know your thoughts, actually. A lot of you, I appreciate each and every single one of you. I just spent like a good 2 minutes trying to say I didn't. I hated you. And now I appreciate you. What? George contradicting himself. Yeah, but I appreciate each and every single one of you. Let me know your thoughts. How do we replace Muller? What do we do in order to see a different player that could be like him? And I don't know. What are your thoughts? Who right now, if Muller just decided to retire tomorrow, because Muller will retire. He won't go anywhere else. He'll retire in 2023. Well, dependent on how his form is. If he slows down, he's going to go golf with Philipp Lahm. I know that for a fact. He loves golfing. So I know he's going to go golf and, work with his horses. He's not going to be a coach. I wouldn't want Muller to be a coach. He's too much of a jokester. He's like me a little bit. He wants to make videos. He wants to make people laugh. I'm a clown. I'm not going to lie. I'm a clown. I love being well, I'm not a class clown. I'm actually one of the geniuses in the class. In fact, I'm a teacher's pet to a certain extent. God damn it, why do I like talking about myself so much? Exactly, right? Yes, exactly. Well, I'm the butt of my own jokes the majority of the time, so maybe that's why I love talking about myself. This channel is therapy for me, because I can talk about myself without you knowing who I am. Some of you don't even know who I am. 1% of people are like, what's your name? I love that, because I don't care what you think about what my name is, where I'm from. It doesn't matter. We just support Bayern Munich, and that's literally the only thing we have in common. Like, I don't even know where you are. I don't know who you are. I don't know where you're from. I don't need to know that, because we love the same club, and that's something we can have in harmony. There's people that are going to be irritated. George doesn't care about me. Not really. I just care about your opinions when it comes to Bayern. That's the only thing I care about. I don't care about where you're from. I don't care if you're 2 years old, or there's people that are 60 watching the channel, and I'm like, well, sometimes I feel like this weird, just feeling in me to be a little bit more mature because older people are watching the channel. But then I just realize I'm never going to be that guy. If you want someone mature, go watch Bastian Schweinsteiger be a pundit, because I'm not going to be mature. Definitely not. But I think that's what makes this much more fun for me, because I can just be myself. You're hearing the raw me, okay? You're hearing things that I'd say in my daily life and how I say things, Yeah, that's it. That's just me. I appreciate all of you, because, look, this channel is just about Bayern Munich. It's not about me. It's just about Bayern Munich and talking about certain things. My opinion doesn't matter. My opinion doesn't really matter. I only say it. This video was literally someone else's idea. I'm literally just saying what a comment said. And I wanted to make it because I felt like that comment was a very good comment. And then I decided to make a video on it. Every video is literally just a compilation of me just restating what people said, just in a more entertaining way, because you're not funny. All right, thank you everyone so much for watching. Mia san mia, and peace. I'm smiling too. I love this. I love today. Today's amazing. It's a new month, man. Be happy, man. I woke up so freaking great. I slept so well, man. Everything went well. Gotta thank God.